Camera number 171 of 365 is the Nikon FE10. If the internet is to believe, I believe that, and it does look, I must say, like a Cosina looking camera made for Nikon. Quite a bit of plastic in evidence, but perhaps Nikon asked for a few little extras to be included in the camera, I'm not quite sure. But the Nikon FE10 is a camera requires batteries to operate. So the batteries are placed in the base here, two LR44s. I'm not going to take it out because for some reason it's very sensitive to the batteries that are used. They have to be full powered batteries, don't like slightly underpowered batteries, and the door mechanism is a little bit sensitive, so I won't disturb that. But while we're on the base, we have a tripod mount and the release that allows us to rewind our film back into our canister. So placing the camera on A mode allows us to use it as an aperture priority camera, and our lens on this occasion is a 50mm 1.8, and to take the lens off we simply press the button, lens release, and rotate, and then we can see our shutter. Film speeds are down the left hand side, or as you look through the viewfinder, the right hand side. So when it's put in A, whenever we change the aperture we get a readout of the shutter speed that's going to be selected. And then the little button on the right here is an exposure lock button, so very useful if we focus our meter and we want to keep that setting. We can then press that and then maybe recompose our picture if our subject is not in the center. There is a preview button, but unfortunately on mine it's snapped off. It's just here, made of plastic, so it's not surprising that that didn't last too long. We have a self timer, and the red light actuates while we're counting down. There we go. So turning our attention back to the top, actually let's just put the lens back on, shall we? Turning our attention to the top, so A, it has a useful lock. We have to press the central button to lock it and unlock it. So then put it in A, and then again, once we've reached that, we can now choose manual shutter options, which go from 1/2000th of a second down to B. We have a 60th of a second for our flash synchronization, and then we have our shutter actuation and film wind on, our film counter, and also a multiple exposure lever, which when we slide it and we advance the film, doesn't wind the film on but engages the shutter. Moving to the left hand side, we have a hot shoe there. Moving to the left, we have our film speed, which is set by, has a lock button which we unlock and then rotate to our central point here. And then we can do the same to use exposure compensation. There's 2 minus, 2 plus exposure compensation, and basically what we're doing is we're changing the shutter speed effectively. We move the shutter speed over there to our desired exposure compensation amount. There we go. Looking through the viewfinder, I've mentioned the shutter speeds are incorporated, a very bright viewfinder. Our film chamber is opened with the wheel rewind crank. There we go. And a very useful little window to show that off is in and what hopefully film it is and how many exposures it is. So that is camera number 171 of 365.